Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Weird, just lots of stuff going on, lots of crap happening. It's just weird day. More and more, I think it's catching up with a lot more people that Donnie has got some problems. Donnie's got lots and lots and lots of problems. And among those problems is everything he's tried to do to save his little butt is finally, I don't know why it took this long, starting to show up as an issue on TV. See, last week, for some reason, they were like still with the defense and everything. Now, this week, they're starting to finally go, oh, yeah, that's right. Everything he's talking about is basically BS. Yeah, basically, like I said, I've been screaming the one thing since the beginning. And that one thing since the beginning has been...
Whatever, it's your right to be stupid in this country. It's your right to be dumb. It's your right to be delusional. We just don't have time for you. Happy 13th.
How do I put this? Oh, God. Excuse me one second. Come back here. All right. Donnie's going to be indicted on whatever they can do quickly and easily and without exposing too many secrets. And part of what that is, if you look at what they've charged him with, it doesn't matter about classifications. Again, I kept screaming that from day one. Classifications don't matter anymore because they never did. This was never about classifications, and they knew it wouldn't be about classifications. It needed to be about the possession. And only about the possession. As long as you made it about the possession and having that in your hand, having that shit in your hands,
As they say on the radio. The radio.
then you would, yeah. And so more and more, because I keep saying the same thing, look at the evidence that was presented. None of that is the FBI. All of that is Walt and Trump and his lawyers being dumb white boys.
Has been celebrated for decades.
Just being dumb people who just say the same, no, we can do this. We are okay. We can do this. Because we're brilliant. We're smart.
In white America.
They
didn't want us to know what the fuck June.
Oh, hold on.
They didn't want us to know what happened in Galveston, Texas, when the feds rolled in on horses and said, hey, you've been freed for a while.
Oh, Juneteenth. Talking about why we are here. Why this day is this day.
You've been free for a while. It's a wild story. It's and we should know
rather disgusting
that truth
story
in this country.
About Texas.
Everyone should know that truth
that Texas
in this
is still
country.
Trying to do to this day.
Now, I believe that Juneteenth should have been a federal holiday a long time ago. There's Juneteenth is a much better use of a federal holiday than some of the others that we have. But a lot of people see Juneteenth as a capitulation, a virtue signaling, if you will. Which, again,
to who?
Because these fucking idiots out
there,
there,
white
these
supremacist
fascists,
dumb white boys that we continuously listen to, who continuously get us into these stupid pacts and things that continuously,
federal holiday,
I
guess you could have that.
Get us into stupid wars
already made it.
That are all about the fact that we should be in control of the goddamn world because God put us here.
But I think that, and even if people who
I know it's an oversimplification, but it's just fucking true. If you understand the world wars and the war we're in today, right now, in Russia, what the fuck is it about?
Knowing
white supremacy.
I believe it's still worth celebrating in this country.
That's what Putin's about. That's what Putin's entire fucking system is about.
That their freedom,
control, and white supremacy. That's what World War II was about. Because Germany told Russia, hold my beer. Told Japan, hold my beer.
Another 100 years.
Because Japan was saying the same shit. Yeah,
South,
they think they're white too.
when they use the Jim Crow.
China, same thing.
To subvert the liberty and the right.
All about being superior because God said we are the superior being. What the fuck?
In the 20th century, to make sure.
It's called science. It's called reality.
In this country.
There's a reason that medicine has now made sure that we all can get to 65 if we don't kill ourselves. And I mean ourselves.
They do. They still do.
Because that internal shit is all the same. And that's the problem. We're fighting about external shit that makes no goddamn sense. And we keep listening to the wrong people about that external bullshit.
Should be doing. We should be.
And we keep going and going.
Hold
on, let me just see what Hal's talking about.
More of a chemical impact on your brain in terms of...
It took us a long time.
It's the emotional impact of it than, say, a strict stimulant would. That said, extreme stimulants, obviously...
I think we're talking about Trump. Listening to Stephanie Miller this morning and Noel Castler talk about Trump and how that show was just a fake show. Everything about Trump was fake. And yet, to this day, we still act like that man is somebody we should be listening to, is somebody we should be paying attention to. I just don't get this. Literally, his family has been shown to have been literally tax cheats and thieves.
I wasn't afforded the truth
forever
because of the institution of white.
He's literally on trial right now because of his own superiority complex. Nobody told him to take that shit. Nobody.
If you're upset.
And here's the problem, and this is what's scaring the fuck out of me. I mean, I have a feeling that Trump is not being indicted for the most important part of what he might have done because it would embarrass our country so much. And that scares the fuck out of me. What do I mean by that? I mean, I actually, honestly, 1,000% believe. Yes, there's no proof because I'm not the court case and the FBI is there and I know they probably have it, but I believe that motherfucker sold our shit. There's a reason Kirshner, whatever, his son, his baby, got millions like that. Or billions, I should say millions. Billions. There's a reason that he's literally skating by. You know what's funny, though? And maybe this will finally start to show. Because I know that they were broke. The Trump campaign was literally broke. There's stories showing over and over again that they were coming up on the quarterlies. And they were going to be broke. And you know what saved them? The indictments to the tune of $24 million. Well, let me tell you something. If what the numbers in my head say are true, that $24 million will be gone in weeks. And it will not be spent on him actually campaigning. It will be spent on him getting attorneys. Your support to the eventual and getting lawyers. You can find them with and getting shit like that. Because that's literally what he needs right now. And I think it's going to start showing more and more that he's not going to be campaigning with that money. He's going to be paying attorneys with that money. And like Fugelsang was saying, in less than 40 days, we will probably have another indictment out of Georgia. And I still believe, to this moment, that there will be a much larger indictment that will pop up for January 6th. Now, will that indictment include a seditious conspiracy charge? Which would definitely disqualify him from running 101%. With this decision that's been handed down this morning, have you seen this? Let me see if I can. And how quickly could they discern the information? See, because here's the thing. I think if they can prove this was made by that magistrate, this is the one that yep, there's a protective order. So he's talking about the protective order
decision. It says canon here, but Reinhardt is the actual one that made this decision this morning. It's a protective order. And what the protective order does is it protects...
Just right quick, let's go through and make sure. Discovery materials, storage of discovery materials.
Discovery materials, all non-classified discovery produced by the United States.
Electronic materials or copies of... Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because some of it was going to be electronic because it's converted to electronic so that they can actually do discovery. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I kick myself for. Because I really did think about getting into the business of storage, of just literally storing shit for law firms. And I thought, can I make money? And I'm here in San Francisco, and I could have made so much money. I could be sitting on millions. Because that business is so big now. It's a nerve-wracking business because the one thing you have to have is you have to have your backups. And I can say 100% I have never lost a dime of data. In doing this in 20 years, I learned the hard way. You do not lose a dime of data. You make copies of everything. And if you can, make a copy of a copy. Even if it's a few weeks old, at least you will not have to restart from scratch. Always copy.
Jack Smith wants to indict in superseding indictments in this document.
But the electronics now,
the weird idea,
and the storage of all this information.
And that he is because
will Donnie have the fortitude to protect his own ass and not get indicted? I mean, convicted, not indicted. Convicted now. Yeah, get through the indictment. Because I'm trying to figure out, and a lot of people are trying to do the same thing. What does that trial look like? What does that trial look like now? Because I don't get where you go. Where do you go with this trial? What's your defense on this trial? What are you doing?
From Judge Reinhardt.
I'm trying to figure that out.
There's the bench judge, the bench magistrate. That
okay.
Rent an old factory in Indiana, which is decrepit or something like that. Get a grant from the government to clean it up. Take the lead paint out. Remove the asbestos. Start a factory. Get it off the ground, and then run it as go. You can do that today. Like, you need no changes in government whatsoever in the United States to form a workers' co-op where everybody works and for the same amount of money and everybody has the same wage. You know you can do that, right?
Yep.
You're
co-ops that would be the way to do it. If you wanted to do it, that's the way I would love to see more and more of the country run. Because unfortunately, right now we run through this system that runs through a
initiative. And then the people with the initiative who put it all together get all pissed off because the people who didn't have the initiative and came. There you go. Al has a fascist stripe for your health and recreation.
Huh?
I do?
What?
Didn't I just say you could? Not as easy as Hal Sparks makes it sound. Well, right.
I believe that they're boxing in the defense counsel, right? So
no,
I'm
just
trying
true.
To point out who's got the money, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Privilege
Maybe not.
Donald Trump.
I'm just saying they could take classes from the Amish. They start projects like that off the ground in a second.
That the council that
we were kind of communist here co-op service about this as old as the United States because
anyway, okay, so.
Or tampers with witnesses or materials.
See, this is my thing. Here's my question to everybody who's talking about the protective order. Because somebody did bring that up today. What the hell persons who are interviewed is going to happen if he does discern something?
Witnesses or other persons whom the court may authorize.
Will he actually be arrested and put in jail? Will he actually be fined the $5 million? Will he actually be told by a judge to shut the fuck up?
You can't share it. You can't say it directly or indirectly. We find out you're leaking this information, which I would imagine that they're going to set up like a skiff for this discovery. Now, most federal discovery, from what I understand, in almost all federal cases, most discovery, it has to be done at a certain area.
Right.
You don't just get to go gather it up, or
which is part of the reason why a lot of people say don't worry about Judge Eileen Cannon.
And it cost a lot of
because Judge Eileen Cannon, if they do get to a trial, remember, we still are nowhere near a trial.
In this case,
we are months away, and there could still be
classified or could be
guilty pleas that could change everything. Again, I still love what one of the things that Rachel Maddow has pointed out
kind of break this down.
Could still happen.
This order came this morning.
Could really still happen.
Number 4 of this protective order.
Now, I don't see Trump being that smart,
defendants,
that brilliant,
defense counsel, and authorized persons
to walk away.
Copy.
Because that would be how I think they would end this.
Is necessary to prepare.
They would end this if Donald J. Trump
shall be treated in
right now today
original
said, "I will walk away. I will go back to private life. I will shut the fuck up."
The original.
I bet you almost everybody would drop everything.
You're not going to be able to not let these people take notes.
See, because he still has issues. Truth Social is a nightmare.
What you want
is an SEC nightmare.
Orange jumpsuit or
it literally, if you pay attention to what's going on in the stock market, and the fortunate or unfortunate part is most of my life was brought up in finance. So the stock market and how it works and its inner workings computer-wise in the background is how I was raised.
They should be able to
and that world is a very interestingly
you're afforded the ability to defend yourself.
Tight world.
And if he can, you definitely should be able to. So let's keep.
So data.
I mean, I think he's guilty.
And how it's
we'll see.
How you keep it.
The jury says, and again, I keep telling you that we're the most important jury.
Are very important. And Cannon
jury in a courtroom.
Because of where she's at, because she is literally 3 hours away from Miami, may end up having, because of the skiff issue, to do the trial in Miami.
This one's pretty.
It's not going to be able to be done in her little podunk
this is the
junction.
Donald Trump is.
So that's one of the things that may come up too.
Right?
That may change everything.
This is where he's.
Because if she's got to do a 3 hour a day commute,
no way
for 4 or 5 weeks,
fucking way that Donald Trump isn't going to fuck this up. He's 100% going to post something. It may not be like a picture or a copy of something, but he's going to post shit that they've got. He's going to put it in a true social post over there on Fraud Social. He's going to let the world see the shit that they got.
And will he be fucking told to shut the fuck up? Will he be arrested?
Partly because of
Donald Trump. Or will he just get a fucking away with it again?
I actually
and continue this fucking trend of keeping this shit going.
I believe even after the search warrant,
because shit didn't keep
when they went to get their shit,
and then they refined it because they're like, shit ain't half bad. I'll tell you right now. There was some Dean Martin back then who went, "You guys don't know what you're missing to this old potato juice. This old potato juice is the kind of like
drawer, to his wife's underwear drawer, to his safe. Well, yeah, round and round and round they go. Right? They move these documents around so no one can find them. I believe that Donald Trump's the reason why we know about any of this and the reason why there's an indictment is because even after that, he didn't do a deal. He didn't do a deal.
Now, let's see if Tony's going to go to the same direction I'm going.
Why didn't he do that deal?
Because I believe there's still a chance there may be a deal.
Think about this.
There may still be a deal.
If he did not do a deal then, or if he would have done a deal then, I think he wouldn't have been indicted.
I agree.
Even after the search, even if he'd been like, all right, okay, all right, I get it. I get it. You're going to come in, take the shit. The FBI's involved. You guys want to investigate me? Cool. I'll let you just have all the shit. Just take it all. Do your thing. I'm not going to say anything in public. I'm not going to cause chaos.
Can you imagine Donald Trump saying anything like that?
That way I don't get
Can you imagine Donald Trump saying anything even close to that?
But when he fucking went on like, they raided my house and they took my shit and they took my passport. Remember all that? I mean, for weeks, he would say, I declassified them with my mind. They weren't classified, which didn't matter in the first place because it had nothing to do with the classification of the documents. And
alternative facts,
security implications with the documents. And they're not his. They're not his.
Number one, he had no right to have any of that. You know what's so funny? And I should look it up. That fucking picture. Who took that picture? Was it the Washington Post? Of all the boxes outside of the White House when he was moving out. Because if you look at that picture closely, it looks like you see a few of those same boxes sitting in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, just keep looking at them and just take a look at some of the markings and you will notice that, yes. And I think, again, the other thing that's come up as I've been listening to and reading through everything, the reason Bedminster has not had a search warrant and a search is staleity. In other words, almost all the information that they have for Bedminster is stale and says that most of the documentation ended up back in Mar-a-Lago. Now, do realize something that nobody seems to be talking of is that the archives is saying they're still not sure if they have everything. And I think one of the other things that may pop up as we get through this more and more, as we start listening to what's going on, as we start hearing all the information that's going to come out of this,
no disclosure to the public. This number
is the number of documents
in the balls, right?
That just don't seem to be anywhere anymore.
Another number 8 here, I think is important. It says return of discovery.
What the hell is that?
Within 90 days of the conclusion.
And what the hell will that mean?
Including all related appeals.
Because again, he's getting away with it. And he's getting away with it in a way that just irks everybody who's ever gotten a fucking security clearance.
This doesn't mean it's 90 days.
If you've spent your fucking year or 6 months or whatever it took you getting your fucking security clearance, and then you see shit like that.
By order of the court from the defense counsel. So this isn't a 90-day order. To conclude.
I don't know. I understand why it's so frustrating. I mean, it's just it's fucking ridiculous that you sit there and you see.
This order is because
I got my security clearance because what I was doing was upgrading back in the day. All of the PCs that were in the attorney's offices at the DOJ and the agriculture department's legal group. In other words, I was the contractor sent out by Microsoft because Microsoft actually had the contract with the government. When some of their PCs needed upgrades because of the specialty software that they're on, they hired certain people to go in. Not so much because of the software, but because of the sensitivity of what was in those offices. And in particular, like I said, I was doing attorneys' offices. I was upgrading their offices. Not their assistants, their offices. That's the big deal. It was that I was going to be sitting in offices where there could be any form of anything strewn about. Not material that would be a skiffed material, but still the kind of material that you don't have anybody sitting there who's able to read it. And that takes a lot to get that clearance, because you literally have to be that trusted. That takes a lot. And then go all through everything to get that clearance, and then to see those boxes like that just irks you to no end. It makes you feel like, what the fuck? This guy did this to us. He did this to us. You feel personally aggrieved because you feel like he did do it to us. He did it to us. Us people who had to spend our entire lives working to get this. This dude gets it because he's a rich motherfucker and ran for it. Didn't spend his own money for it. Nope. Got you plebes, weebs, and idiots to pay for it. Oh, I'm a rich man. I'll pay for it. Man, no, he didn't. And he figured out a way to suck you guys dry. He replaced his, I can guarantee you, if we get through January 6th and we get through the fraud thing, one of the things that probably will come out is that he replaced the Rolls-Royce engine on his plane because of you plebes that gave to his January 6th fund.
Kind of fucking doesn't do the nonsense where he's like, well, I gotta seem non-biased, so I don't want to appear to be biased to the truth. So I got to capitulate to lies. He really doesn't play that game much. Every once in a while, but Bob's pretty good. I don't know why Bob doesn't fucking host some of these shows on Sunday in the first place. He's guest hosting here. But let's listen to Bill Barr tell the American.
Oh, good. Yes. Here. I'm sorry. I just had to go back in. I just wanted
Donald Trump is.
Yeah.
You say Trump's alleged conduct is indefensible. So many Republicans continue to defend him. What will it say if the party, your longtime party, puts him forward as their nominee?
Well, that's the problem. I don't think they're actually defending his conduct, but they are saying it's unfair to prosecute him. But
how is it unfair to prosecute?
Okay, if it's unfair to prosecute him, that's not the whole answer. The question is, should we be putting someone like this forward as the leader of the country, leader of the free world, who's engaged in this kind of conduct?
Is he a free world leader?
So let's stop there. Bill Barr, you fucking scumbag.
Thank you.
You defended this asshole.
And he's still defending him. I'm sorry. He's still fucking defending him. That half-ass answer is just crap.
And use this as a holiday that recognizes something.
I defend him against in New York. Really? So you're an attorney and you're all in for breaking laws just as long as they're state laws. See, your federalist bullshit, which is just a bunch of white supremacy again, et al., is the problem. It literally is the problem. When you make up bullshit, because that's what this man is. He's a make-up bullshit artist. He's a believer in this bullshit Christianity that has nothing to do with reality. Because it's just some shit that they make up. You know, like the president's a goddamn king because white man God. That's what it is, literally. Bill Barr is one of those people that literally believes in the unitary presidential. In other words, that the goddamn president's a king. Even though the Constitution specifically states, no, not a king, not above the law. But for some reason, in Bill Barr's brain, in that white supremacist little fucking brain, he believes bullshit. He spouts his bullshit that somehow the unitary executive is the way we should go.
What the fuck I mean? It's a caveat.
Hold on. Let's go back just a minute because I do want to hear this.
I mean, he's the only one really swinging and hitting, to be quite honest. I'm going to show you a clip of Chris Christie here in a little bit talking about the loyalty pledge of the RNC debate.
Yeah, see, again, here's my fucking problem with all this bullshit. Loyalty, fealty, Nazi. Sorry. Loyalty, fealty, Nazi. Sorry. That's it. The end. Stop that. That's not what we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about our Constitution and the people. A collection of people. You're not supposed to have a fealty to a person. That's not the way we're supposed to work it. Because when you have a fealty to a person and you put that person up as a king or a god, this is the shit you get. You get people who are wrong, evil, and
not as good
corrupt as leadership. And that's the problem.
Bill Barr's landing the best punches. Amazing. Bill Barr's landing better punches than some fucking
pushing a table up against the door. And then these idiots climbing the outside. My favorite part is the footage where they fell off. And because these people didn't have to climb the wall to get up there. They could have gone up the fucking stairs.
Right.
But they wanted somebody to take a Facebook photo of them climbing the fucking walls of the Capitol. I'm breaching the Citadel, like an asshole. As you do.
Thank you.
As you do.
That you just look like a fucking idiot. That you look like a stupid person.
But he's a vile piece of trash that believes the vile garbage that I believe. Come on, man. They're gonna vote for him. Any motherfucker out there still standing around wondering why I keep saying Donald Trump's going to be the nominee, it's what Bill Barr just said. It's the caveat every time they date to try.
I still don't think so. I believe we actually are going to have an issue in the 2024 election, and I don't think it's going to be Trump. Now, here's the problem. If it is a DeSantis, if it is a
celebrated as such.
And this is the linchpin of the whole thing.
Chris Christie,
the second founder.
And I know a few people who've said the same thing.
Indeed, it is.
And the unfortunate part is true. If it was a Chris Christie, I would even vote for that. But you know who I wouldn't vote for? Almost everybody else. I hate to say that. And even though Chris Christie was so in bed with Trump, Christie was sucking his fucking dong. You don't think so? Christie was literally doing his transition in before Trump kicked him out. And Trump kicked him out because Putin told him to. And we know that. Because Putin didn't want Chris Christie anywhere near it. You know why? Because Putin knew Chris Christie would be like, hey, dude, you can't do this shit with no, You can't do that. They needed somebody who they could just say, hey, Pence, you just sit over there and shut up. You don't say anything. You don't do anything. You say nothing. Chris Christie would have been too involved because he was one of those people that wanted to be president. So we couldn't have him as vice president because he would interfere. If you don't get that, do you? Didn't pay attention to the fact that all of a sudden, when it came to vice president time, Mike Pence had a jet stuck in an airport to make sure he got the interview. What? Go back and take a look. I'm not going to try and take you through all of the
alternative facts
that they put through, but go back and take a look at when the vice president was being picked. And remember how much when it was Jeb, then all of a sudden it's like, well, Trump's going to win. Trump's going to win. Oh, Trump's not going to win. Trump's going to win. Trump's going to win. And Trump won. But then Trump won, and it was like, ooh, vice president. Ooh. Chris Christie's going to be new.
it's two steps forward, and
Russia needs somebody, and Trump needs somebody who's going to be quiet and sit over there.
then something happens.
See, all I want is I want my religious shit. If you just give me some religious shit, I'll sit over here and shut up.
And then
Chris Christie wasn't going to sit over there and shut up, and that's the problem.
10 years later, when we look back and we can say, well, maybe we did.
And they knew it. And again, I still have a fear as we come into the close of today, as we talk about
Would he put the country at risk if he
the last of it.
You notice how
The arc of the universe. I thank
Will Trump actually
you for being with us today. Really appreciate your time.
I'll tell you why.
And thank you for the privilege of your time this hour. When we come back, a special
pay for this? Will he actually
right after a break.
not just keep getting away with it? I am still of the opinion, I know I'm not with everybody else, but I'm of the opinion that he will not be our nominee. And it may be, and it won't be because of jail or anything like that. I'm disagreeing with those who are saying, oh, he'll be in jail. No, I think in order not to be in jail and to be left alone, he will go away. Because I don't think he can be president again. I mean, there's a possibility, yeah. I'm not saying he can. That's 75,000 in 3 states. But if you remember, he won by 11,000 in the almost same area. That was it, 11. And that was the Jill Stein effect for the most part. Now, you're saying, hold on, we are going to have so many more than that this time. Are we?
He's like a 9-year-old.
See, a lot of times we start out a year before with all these people jumping in and saying, this is where we're going to go. This will be the year where we have all these. And no, slowly but surely, you will watch these people drop out. And the number one reason they will drop out is moolah, the cash, the lack thereof, and a few people coming up to them saying, get the fuck out, or we will personally hurt you. Oh, not like beat you up. We will personally make sure that any business you do from this point on gets harassed into the ground because you ruined our lives. Again, the dictatorship cannot stand. If Trump gets back in, we will be at the end of democracy as we know it unless we fix a lot of shit quickly. And one of them ain't going to be the courts because that ain't happening anytime soon. Unless somehow the January 6th shit really does pay off. And I'm still of the opinion that it might as we come up to the end of the show. January 6th, I believe, is going to be a key point for a lot of things that will get us out of where we're at today. I believe that so much of what's still to come from the DOJ is going to blow our fucking minds. It's going to show us that oh, holy shit. I mean, 14 seditious conspiracy convictions. 14. After getting none for how long? So understand how... How... Oh, what's the right word? Primed these people were to take it back, quote unquote, with no proof. Again, that your white supremacy, your Christianity, your version of Christianity, your version of it all requires no proof because your God says forgive no matter what for anything. just because I said, hey, can I be forgiven because I repent? Your God says, fine, yeah. Your God says you're good. Just do these things and you're all good.
When they started saying that, you got damn right. Visit Alameda County Fair now. Country. There's a two-tier justice.
So you can have this thing where your leader says something and it's always true no matter what. It must be followed because it's dear leader. It's dear leader. It's dear leader.
Like uncharted waters, but we're not the first generation
who we really shouldn't be listening to, but for some reason we continue to. Oh well.
Now this is the problem with Jon Stewart.
I guess what I'll say is till the next time.
The show is called The Problem with Jon Stewart.
Good day and thank you for staying with us. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. This hour on MSNBC reports extreme weather and a new round of deadly storms.
Is Donald Trump going to actually get everything he deserves? I think he will, but I believe it will be over a lot of time. I do not believe he will be the nominee. And that may be a problem that we have to deal with. But I also am not sure if it's going to be a DeSantis because it is such a new era in our politics. We've never been anything like this. Because even if Nixon had been convicted, it would have been after his second term, not during a rerun. After he lost.
With severe weather warnings across the country.
All I can say is let's hope that
14 tornadoes touched down in 9 states, killing at least 6 people and leaving thousands without.
What comes out of January 6th is more convictions that will stand up, that will make sure.
You think regular people get to surround themselves with a meat shield of henchmen to go to prison in their place?
Okay, so Jon Stewart is obviously talking about the two-tier justice system that does exist in this country. And again, I've been saying this. The reason why MAGA and the reason why Trump is so pissed off, not at a two-tier justice system, that's not what they're mad about, okay? They're mad that their privileged tier, Donald Trump's privileged tier, is no longer protecting him to the degree that it's protected him his entire life.
It still is protecting him. Because he would be in jail if he was anybody else. Reality winter. Ask any of the people who just finished doing 3 to 5 years for possession under the Espionage Act. Ask them how free they were in this two-tier justice system. You can be a crook. You can be a fucking crook. 100% a crook. And that's the problem. You can be all you can be, which is a crook. You can 100% be a crook as long as you're rich enough and white supremacist enough to, yes, do it right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. Do it live. Let the white supremacy and all that shit hang out. And scream it now. Just scream it. Just fucking bloody say, fuck this. We want women in the fucking kitchen barefoot and fucking pregnant. We want white men to slap around black niggas all over the goddamn place. That's what you fuckers want. You don't want to hear it, but that's the fucking shit that they're working towards. And as long as we're on our way towards this bullshit,
presidential campaign,
and you're not getting that, that's not going to work. Never worked anywhere in this world. Never worked anywhere in this world at any time. Nope, never has. Not going to. But y'all keep fighting for this bullshit.
Some get 2 years in jail. Some get 5 years in jail. Some get 10 years in jail for stealing from
documents.
Donations.
And that's the point, is yes, there is a two-tier justice system, but you idiots, you morons, you cultists, you MAGA sheep,
thank you.
mad. that it's no longer protecting Donald Trump the way that you need it to protect him to continue to be your authoritarian little dictator. Everyone, stick around. We got Fred Wellman.